from the newsroom is down with us in the studio. Have you got some interesting news for us, Tony?
It's interesting. It's a bit worrying for Christians. Now, we know that Sir Keir Starmer and the Labour Party have just been swept to power in the UK. Now, that's probably not going to make much difference in terms of the economy and foreign policy, those sorts of things. But on social policy and affecting Christians, it could be a little bit worrying. Because last week there was a case involving a Christian social worker who applied for a job as a hospital discharge mental support worker. And initially he did the interviews and they thought, this guy is really great. Let's give him the job. But then they found out that he was a Christian who had taken a university to court because that university didn't like his Facebook posts on various biblical verses and that sort of thing, especially regarding sexuality, and he couldn't take his course at university. He took the university to court and won that case. Now, in the case before a tribunal, employment tribunal, to challenge the job that he was given, and then he was denied, it was revealed that he was really denied because he was a Christian. Because the argument was that some of these mental health people, or mental health patients, they could be triggered by finding out that he's a Christian. He's not working there in the hospital as a Christian, he's just there as a hospital worker. But the ruling by the employment tribunal was that because he was a Christian, the patients might find out and it might affect their mental health.
Oh my goodness.
And it gets worse. The tribunal heard that even Mother Teresa wouldn't get the job.
Wow.
Then it heard that John 3:16 could be triggering.
Oh my goodness.
And it could be triggering in a good way. It was for me. John 3:16
right,
brought me to the Lord.
That's right.
But they thought it would be negative. And this just goes to show the power struggle between good and evil that's going on in England at the moment, because there's a very powerful LGBT charity called Stonewall that is supporting all these fights against Christians, because they fear that the Christians will influence people who are LGBT and convince them to change their lifestyle or change their ideology. And this is the battle we're seeing. Now, did either of you read Frank Peretti's The Present Darkness?
Yeah, I remember that book.
And this just reminds me of that battle, that battle for the souls. You know, and you've got these pro-LGBT groups fighting to stop the Christians reaching these souls. And it's really, really worrying. Now, what else is happening in Britain at the moment is that a group of nurses in Northern England have had to take their hospital to court because they have a man using their changing rooms. Now, this is not just an ordinary transgender man. It's just a man who claims he's a woman, going by the name of Rosie. But he's had no hormones, no puberty blockers, no surgery, nothing like that. And he's told these other nurses that he plans to have a baby with his girlfriend. And the nurses, some of whom are abuse victims, are absolutely terrified. And the hospital is doing nothing to support them. And this is the Britain that we're seeing today, and which the Labour Party has to clamp down on somehow. We have to pray like everything that they will, because this is a real worrying development.
Certainly something for our prayer list, because obviously the UK and the US, very influential around the world, and let's keep our eyes on the UK. Let's keep praying for righteousness and for the Lord's will to be done in the UK. Are you happy to hang around and share some more with us, Tony, as well?
Yes, I certainly am.
We have more from Tony from the Vision News team in just a moment here on Rise and Shine.